Good morning, everyone. So I realized yesterday it's been a couple of weeks since I made my last video, and I had to go back and watch the video to figure out where I left off. So I left off with the fact that Caitlin's dad was going to school for air conditioning and heating repair, air and heat, and he was needing babysitters for his two little girls because their mother wasn't around. Okay, so fine. Every once in a while, one of the desk clerks or I would, watch the girls. So from October 2005 to June 2006, he was staying there off and on, and he ended up finally getting a place. And in 2006, I ended up giving him a couple of beds from the motel because we were having renovations. They were going to be replacing all the beds. So the room he was staying in, he wanted those beds because they were comfortable. It's like, okay, well, you know what? As soon as they tear down the rooms, I'll give you the mattresses. And that's exactly what I did. They're just going to throw them away anyway. So, he ended up finally getting his own place. So I'm thinking, okay, wow, he's working. Cool. Good for him. You'll hear that one in a bit. So from like February to June, he was coming around every once in a while, and that was about it. And then one time in June, he came around with the girls and wanted to know about getting child custody. And I said, well, let me see what I can do for you. And so I went online and was kind of researching it and what he needed to do. And I told him, well, this is what you need to do. He's like, okay, because I never just filed for custody. On my last divorce from my second husband, we had, our daughter Kelly, and we had worked out a settlement agreement. So it was all done, fairly easily. We both had lawyers, and, it was pretty cut and dry. And so I said, well, this is what you need to do. You need to go to the, courthouse and get the papers before stuff is available online. And so, he did that, and I was trying to help him, do what he needed to do. And then one night we went out for a beer, and I really don't drink. I think I only took a couple sips of it, and that was about it. And then from there, we kind of started seeing each other. Well, get a month or two down the road, and we're, seeing each other here and there, and whenever we want to come over, or I'd go over to his house, and we just kind of, hook up or whatever. And it was about 2 months after we started seeing each other, we were in the car together, and he said he had something to tell me. I was like, okay. He said that he had a drug problem. And I'm thinking, oh, great. I should have been my warning sign to fucking leave. Did I? No. Thinking, okay, I'm a nice person, I could help him. Well, he had a court case out of Tulare County because he got busted for possession, domestic violence, and it was a huge, huge mess. And so he told me about it. He ended up going to court. I had to stay behind because I had to work and stuff. And so he ends up bringing the girlfriend and the kids back. They lived in Tulare County in Porterville. Well, he brought them back because he was residing here and he wanted the girls closer. So he ended up bringing them back, and we had to sneak around. He didn't want to say he had a girlfriend, and that turned into a huge mess. Because in October 30th, or Halloween, I confronted her and said, we are seeing each other. We've been seeing each other. And that was the end of the story. And she ended up moving in with me because I wanted to keep the girls closer to him, and she had nowhere else to go. She was working for Quality Inn, or whatever it was at the time. And so she came, moved in with me, and we actually became pretty good friends, believe it or not. And she had the girls, and it was working out pretty good. And then I had to go to court in Sacramento on a burglary, on a robbery. The people who did a robbery stayed at our motel, and the desk night clerk checked them in. So I had to present how they were checked in and all of that. And so I ended up going for 2 days. Well, the first time I went, I didn't get called. And it's like, well, I can't keep doing this. You guys, they had the person before me on the stand all freaking day. And it's like, you said I was going to be in and out. Well, I didn't go back the second day. It's like, I told him I wasn't feeling good. And it's like, you didn't have me there. I was there yesterday, and you didn't have me, get on the stand. You had some woman in there forever, and it's like, okay, no, I didn't go back. And so he ended up cheating on me while I was in federal court. And she told me about it. And it's like, okay. So I kind of broke it off with him. And it's like he was begging and pleading for me to come back, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, it just too much going on. So, you know, I talked it over with Carrie, and you know, just should I, shouldn't I, and finally decided, okay, yes, I will continue seeing him. But she ended up moving back to Porterville because I think she was pretty much heartbroken. But it's like, he was a nightmare anyway, and she's free of him now pretty much, and I'm not. And so I'm going to kind of leave my story right at that point of her going back to Porterville and me moving on and telling you what happened after we continued seeing each other. So that's where I'm going to leave it for now.